What is up, you guys? For today's video, we are going to be testing out one of the launches that I'm like the most excited to try, and that is the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation. And girl, I'm just so excited for this. As you can tell, they were like bold and loud with the foundation text on my PR box. They're like, we made a foundation and you need to try it. But they sent me over 5 different foundations to try out, like shade-wise. And it's all like the lightest ones, I believe, the lightest ones available. And here are the 5 of them. I think I know which one is my shade though, just from like looking in the bottle. But we are going to do a little bit of swatcheroos just to see like which one matches me the best. But man, I'm just really excited to see how this one looks since I have so many skin issues. It's really hard for me to find a really nice luminous foundation that looks good over like my acne, as well as like all my dry patches and like just like the texture in general on my face. And I've seen so many people on Twitter like show like swatches on their face and it looks amazing. So I'm really excited to see how it works on my skin. And also, before we jump into this, if you'd like to see how I did this full-on like strawberry looking eye, I will link my tutorial in the description box down below for you. And also, before we jump into it, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below and gave this video a like. And also, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kitten. And on Instagram, I post 7 days a week with a ton of tutorials over on there if you are looking for some inspiration. So for primer today, we are going to be going in with one of my favorites from Lancome. This is the UV Expert Aquagel Defense 50 sunscreen, and this is a broad spectrum of 50, which is really awesome for the face. And what I like about this one too is that it is both a primer and a moisturizer, so it's kind of like a 2-in-1, which is really great for summer. So before we jump into applying the foundation, I do want to go over it briefly. And this foundation retails for $38 and contains 1 fluid ounce of product, which is really standard for a liquid foundation. And coverage-wise, it's supposed to be medium coverage, but have a luminous, natural-like finish to the skin. But what I'm really curious about is that it's supposed to be ultra like light on the skin and not supposed to be like super heavy feeling. Because girl, I am so sick of heavy foundations. Like I'm just like super over it. So I'm really curious to see how this one feels on the skin. And I also want to say though too, this one has 50 shades to decide from, which is really awesome. I love that Anastasia is very inclusive with their line. And another thing I want to go over is the packaging, because girl, I'm a packaging whore. I love packaging so much. I don't know about you guys, but the bottle is a glass bottle, which is really nice. I like a glass bottle because I feel like it gives it a little bit more of like a luxe feel. And as you can see, here is the Anastasia logo on the one side. And then when we flip her over, it says foundation, like loud, bold, in your face, which I think is really cool. And then when we pop off the cap, as you can see, it does contain a pump. So there are 2 foundations that I'm deciding between like which one's gonna match me more, because I feel like these ones are just gonna be a tad too dark either way. But the ones that I'm kind of curious about is 120W, which I believe is the lightest shade available number-wise. And we're just gonna swatch this on our face and look a little crazy. Oh yeah, that's pretty yellow. It's not bad, but it is definitely a little bit more on the yellow side than what I normally go for. But the tone might be really good to blend it out. I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, that is like really yellow on my skin. And the next one that I'm really curious about is 130N, which is the neutral one. Oh yeah, I like 130N a lot more. Normally I gravitate towards either like a cool tone foundation or a neutral, just because I feel like it works a little bit better on my skin and also kind of covers up a lot of my redness. But yeah, this one is definitely the match between the 2. It might be a little too dark for me, but I still think it's going to be a really pretty foundation color match-wise. So consistency-wise of this foundation, it is a little bit more on the liquidy side, which isn't a bad thing. And I'm just going to take this and start dotting it on my face. And before this starts drying down, I'm just going to take my Juno sponge and really quickly blend this out. So here's where I'm at right now after blending out the foundation, and I will say I actually really like the finish of this way more than I thought I would. Normally I gravitate towards a matte foundation just because I really enjoy the look of it, but this one's actually really nice for a luminous foundation. And if you like a matte foundation a lot of the time, I feel like you would actually like the luminosity of this one, because it's not like that ugly, like super greasy, sweaty type of luminosity. It's a little bit more like on the natural side. Just gives your skin a really beautiful, healthy glow. Though, like looking at myself in my viewfinder, I can definitely say like the shade match just doesn't match me all that well. It's not bad and I can definitely get away with it, but I wish that there was a little bit lighter of an option. So I just want to show you guys everything up close and personal just so you can get a better idea of the foundation. And as you can see on this side of my face, it looks so nice, but on this side of my face, I don't have as much acne or as much texture. Though I will say, like, looking in my mirror, I'm already starting to get a little bit of creasing. So if you do use this foundation and you are like me and you get a little bit sweaty and a little bit, you know, creasy, you definitely will want to set this one like really quickly. So it's not the foundation's fault, I just haven't set it yet. But like over like my acne spots and like the texture I have, it doesn't accentuate it. It actually sits really well on top, which I'm really impressed with. And also on my forehead where I have like no texture or like acne, it looks amazing. Like, girl, it looks so beautiful on the skin. Though I will say, like, looking in my mirror, it's starting to cake up right above my lip, right in here. And that is where I have some texture right now and a little bit of eczema, so I'm not too sure which it is. But it definitely isn't sitting on top of that all too well. But on my chin it looks nice though, and around my lip area. So on this side of my face, this is where I have a lot of like my skin issues and a lot of skin concerns. You can see I have a lot of acne over in here as well as some dryness. And it is not accentuating either of those. It actually looks really nice on top. It like made it look really seamless, but it also didn't make it look really heavy and cakey either. I just really enjoy how it looks on top. Though I will say, like, looking down around my mouth area on this side, you can definitely see it's kind of caking up just a little bit. I have a lot of eczema like right here above my lip right now, and it's kind of caking up right in here because of that. And I will say though too, looking at my mirror, it doesn't look the best around my nose, like right in here. It's kind of getting a little cakey too. But overall though, I think it looks really nice without having powder on top. And I really love how it looks around my forehead and underneath my eyes. It doesn't look cakey whatsoever, and it doesn't look drying either, which I have the biggest and like hardest time with, because a lot of foundations get like really dry underneath my eyes, but this one looks really nice so far. So before we powder everything, I almost forgot to say I really love the coverage of this so far. As you can see, it does cover up a lot of my acne and all my redness that I had going on, but it also doesn't look like cakey, because a lot of times, you know, like a really heavy full coverage foundation, they get like super cakey on the skin and almost have like a mask-like look to them, which I mean isn't a bad thing. I definitely love a good full coverage beat, but sometimes I want a little bit more of like a medium, you know, kind of like lightweight, natural like finish to the skin, and I feel like this definitely gave me that. Because I can see like it covered everything that I wanted it to, but I can also see my skin peeking through, which is really beautiful. And then for powder today, we are also going to be using the brand new one from Anastasia, and I'm going to be going in with shade Vanilla because I'm really curious to see how this one works, because I saw Atlee use it and it looked amazing on her skin. So I just applied the powder everywhere, and girl, I am literally obsessed with it. It made the foundation a little bit more on the matte side too, which I definitely prefer, especially right now. It is 90 degrees and I just need a matte foundation, otherwise I'm gonna look like a sweaty mess. But girl, it looks so nice underneath the eyes. I really love this powder. It is super finely milled and it doesn't feel heavy on the skin either, which I really like. And it also just seems like it made everything a little bit more airbrush looking, which I think is really pretty. So let's get up close and personal so you guys can see all the details of this powder and the foundation together. And as you can see, it really made my skin look super airbrushed on this side. I was getting a little bit of creasing underneath my eye, but it definitely took care of it. And it just made my skin look a lot more, I don't know, like flawless in a way. Though I will say the powder did not take care of the creasing I was having right here in my smile line. That is definitely a problem area for me. I always crease there first. But like around my nose, it made it look a lot nicer, and it doesn't make my skin look textured either, because a lot of times loose powders make my skin look really kind of like flaky and dry, but this one definitely did not do it to me. It also seems like after I powdered above my lip, it got rid of like all this like texture and cakiness I was having right in here, and it just made it look a lot better. And also like here on my chin too, it just made it look a lot more flawless. But girl, my forehead though, it looks amazing after powdering. I just love how this looks, especially on my forehead. If you have really nice skin, I feel like you would really enjoy this combination. It just looks so nice. Like, I just cannot get over how like flawless and like airbrushed it looks. It literally looks like my forehead is like Facetune. And then here's the side of my face that has all the skin issues. And as you can see, it didn't make my acne look any more textured or dry than it normally does. It actually looks really nice on top. I really enjoy like how my under eye looks too. It's a little bit dry, but right now I have a lot of dry skin over in here, so it's really not that bad. It actually looks really nice on top. And around my nose, it is a little cakey still too, but that, again, that is a problem area for me. I always cake up in there. And around my lip area, it looks pretty nice. It is a little dry looking, but again, I have eczema right there, so I wouldn't expect anything to look like super good right there. So it might be a little drying on you if you do have like super dry skin with a lot of like flakiness. But overall, I actually really enjoy how it looks, and I just think it looks really nice. It looks like a little bit more in like the healthy, natural type of look. But overall though, I'm really impressed with this foundation, though I will say if you have very dry skin or if you have a lot of like dry patches like I do around my mouth area, I would probably leave this foundation unpowdered in those areas just to prevent a little bit of like cakiness. So for me, I would do like pinpoint powdering underneath my eyes, around my nose, and in my smile lines, just so things don't crease around for me. But nonetheless though, I think it's a really beautiful foundation. I just wish it was a little bit lighter for me. But either way though, off camera, I'm just going to apply like my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight and just see this whole look come together. So here's where I'm at right now after applying the rest of my face and getting the whole shebang shaboom applied. And I just want to say this foundation and powder are so comfortable on the skin. Like literally like touching my face, it doesn't feel like I have anything on there. And I mean like I normally wear a very full coverage foundation and very heavy powders. And I can usually feel them on my skin, but right now I can touch my face and it just feels like I'm touching my natural skin, which is a really cool experience for me. And another thing I want to say though too, I've been doing a lot of Instagram videos in between like filming this foundation review. So it's been a couple of hours and even like touching my face, I don't feel like anything has moved or transferred. It doesn't feel powdery or sticky or tacky. It just feels like my natural skin, which is really awesome. So we're just going to get real close and I'm going to show you guys how this is wearing because I just feel like it would give you guys like the full effect. But as you can see, underneath my eye right in here, I'm getting a little bit of creasing. Really, honestly, it is not a big deal. I could use like a little bit of powder and it would definitely go away. And I'm just getting a lot more creasing in my smile line right here, my problem area. And I feel like a lot of that though is because I didn't like fully like set this foundation like instantly right after applying it. I feel like if you have tendencies to crease in certain areas, I would definitely like powder it instantly or like right after you're done blending it out, just like pack it on in areas that you crease. Because otherwise I feel like you're going to get a little bit more creasing with this. But other than that, my skin looks so nice, especially in this like general area where I have some like acne and texture. Like it literally just looks flawless on the skin. So looking at the center portion of my face, I just want to say it looks so nice above my upper lip right now. Because before it looked really cakey, but after I've like worn this in and just had it like melt into the skin a little bit better, I feel like it looks amazing. And also like on my forehead, like dang girl, it looks so airbrushed and so flawless. I feel like if you have really good skin, this foundation will look amazing on you. And the side of my face that I have a little bit more of like my skin concerns on, you can see I'm getting a little bit of creasing underneath the eye. Again, I could use some translucent powder or the powder that we used earlier and it would instantly go away. But again, it is wearing so well over my acne and all of like that texture that I have over in here. I just really enjoy how it looks. And around my mouth where I have like these eczema patches that are really dry and flaky, it seems like over time it has really kind of like melted into them and it looks a lot better than it did originally. But like dang, I am like really impressed with this so far. I just think it looks so beautiful on the skin. Even with having like the skin issues that I have, I think it looks really nice. So with that said though, I do want to share with you guys some comparison swatches of this foundation compared to other ones in my collection, just in case you are looking for a shade reference. Anastasia Beverly Hills 120W, Anastasia Beverly Hills 130N, L'Oreal Freshwear 400 Pearl, Milani Conceal and Perfect shade Porcelain, Pure Love Your Selfie 4LN1 is the shade, Tarte Foam Sealer in this shade 8B. So when it comes down to it, would I recommend the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Foundation? And let me just tell you, I am so obsessed with how this makes my skin look. Though I will say I do have some creasing here in my smile line as well as underneath my eye, but I definitely feel like that is my fault. I waited about 15 to 20 minutes to set those areas knowing that I do crease, so I feel like it definitely is my fault and not the foundation. And I don't know, I just really enjoy how this looks on my skin, especially in the areas where I have some like acne, as well as like some scarring and texture, and even this like weird dry patch that I have from my eczema. It literally looks so nice on top. Though I will say if you do have drier skin, I would probably only pinpoint powder where you get like creasing, because kind of looks a little cakey on areas that I do have like a dry patch that I have powdered on top, especially if you use too much powder. But other than that, like girl, it looks flawless. It doesn't look like way too dewy, it doesn't look way too matte. It literally is such a beautiful natural like finish. And if you are looking for a really great medium coverage foundation that isn't really heavy on the skin, I feel like you would really enjoy this one. For me personally, the only downfall to this foundation is the shade match, because girl, it is like way too dark for me. It's not like too dark where I can't wear it, but it definitely is showing a little bit of a line here on my neck and like on the back of my ear. I don't know if you can see it. but there's a little bit of a line. But other than that, it's such a beautiful foundation. I just wish that there was a shade for me that was a little bit more closer to me. But I feel like if I used a lighter concealer underneath my eyes a little bit and on my chin, I could kind of get by with it a little bit more. But nonetheless, though, it looks so good on the skin. Like, I'm looking at myself in my viewfinder and I'm like, bitch, you're having a good skin day. As for the loose setting powder, girl, I am so obsessed with this. It seriously is such a great powder. It's very finely milled and it's very light in texture on the skin because I really hate a heavy powder. You know, like when you put it underneath your eyes and you can feel it? I hate that so much. And this one didn't do it to me whatsoever. And it also doesn't feel like cakey or weird on the skin. It's just a really nice powder. And I also want to say though too, I really love the packaging. It's like a bigger kind of like jar of it. So you are able to get, you know, like your beauty sponge in there or like a really big powder brush without having to worry about it like spilling out the sides, which I thought was a really great design touch. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this foundation and powder, and also let me know if you're going to be picking up any of the new collections from Anastasia. They have been launching so many new products lately, and as always though, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below, and also if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kitten. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!